Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 24th February 2017. The first article is Beneath the Surface Calm. This article analyzes how the voting behavior of the voters in UP is getting directed. Now, in this context, I want to talk to you about the recent judgment of the Supreme Court on caste, communal, linguistic, and regional factor guiding the voters. Either a candidate contesting the election or a voter, they shall not vote on the basis of caste, religion, etc. So, a candidate cannot ask the voters to vote on that basis, or he cannot claim his caste or religion to mobilize the voters to vote for him. Either of these things, asking the voters on the basis of their caste, or he using his caste or religious identity to mobilize the voters, both of them can be considered as electoral misconduct. So, in spite of this, elections are still have a divisive agenda in India. So, in present politics, or else, the development and transformation, the political transformation, governance agenda which was promised and which was part of the electioneering in 2014 parliament elections has slowly disappeared from UP now. So, if these elections become divisive, our election agenda is more on divisive factors that are existing in the society, then the democracy is going to be in shambles. Now, coming to life elsewhere, it is about the discovery of a new planetary system, exoplanets, from a dwarf sun or a dwarf star in our solar system. So, in this case, there are certain words. I am not an expert on these words, but I remember that Goldilocks zone, it was asked previously as a question. The name of this solar system, it is called as TRAPPIST-1. So, water is essential for existence of the life on Earth. It is also estimated that these planets possess abundant of water that can support the life. So, if you take our solar system, all the other planets possess hydrogen, which make them non-livable. Their atmosphere makes the human beings non-livable, life not to exist. But however, in these exoplanets, it is believed that there are living conditions, and it makes our search for extraterrestrial life much curious. Now, basic income and mental health gains. Remember that women in India are prone for mental disturbances. The reason is this. Generally, women have biological propensity more for psychological disorders because of the hormonal challenges. And poverty, caste, violence, divorce, all these nexus together makes Indian women much susceptible. And then, poverty has got feminized in India. The relative levels of men and women, if considered, women are more poor compared to men. And they don't have the assets on their name or the livelihood opportunities that provide them for the necessary economic independence. So, in this context, what this article argues is universal cash transfers. These have raised the income levels, decreased the malnutrition, and decreased the domestic violence, and also provided for the mental health gains for women. And the second thing is the cash transfers on whose name they are made is also quite important. If the cash transfers are in the name of the woman, the benefits are much wider and have much depth. Now, in this case, we need to understand that Bolsa Familia. So, it is a cash transfer scheme in Brazil where the cash is being transferred in the name of the family head rather than in the name of a male household. And similarly, in India also, National Food Security Act, slowly they started recognizing the woman as the head of the family or the person who can seek the benefits from the government. And further to this, universal cash transfers, they cannot operate independent of the public goods which are being provided. What the public goods here mean? Health, education, etc. So, universal cash transfers cannot be a replacement for the government responsibility to provide these public goods such as health and education, which are more enablers for an individual to achieve his potential. So these enablers need not, government cannot move away from providing these enablers. Now I'll make one simple statement. What made you and me come together? What is the mediator between you and me? Why we are all together, we are all able to talk now? The simple thing is the education. Education is the enabler that provided an interaction between you and me. So in this case, if a person has to be lifted out of poverty, then the emphasis has to be on the education. So the government cannot shed away its responsibility from this. So the caste transfers have definitely an impact on medical, psychological health. But however, when they are associated with these enablers, then only the results can be clearly visible. Campus chill. So understand here, the free society depends on free speech and expression. So the tolerance to speech, tolerance to identities are critical for a democratic society. In a way, I can say them as virtues of a democratic society. When this is being curtailed, when the system becomes antagonistic to this free speech, and free speech is more seen as a controlled speech, or a regulated speech by the state, or the non-state actors supported by the state, then the democracy comes into peril. So universities are the places where the existing system and society or architecture of the power need to be questioned. There the free speech provides for an argumentative strength and also ability to debate and dialogue among the youngsters. So the free environment across the universities need to be protected, and that provides for an intellectual stimulus to academics. So that we need to strengthen. That is what is the essence of this article is. Now let's come to triple talaq. So here we can see the discussion on triple talaq from two dimensions. A religious dimension and also a gender justice dimension. Now I want to state you this way. India has a long way to go in bringing in an equilibrium between the individual rights promised in the Constitution and the social rights given. So what I mean is, if you talk about Article 2930, there are community rights, collective identity rights. So culture and cultural rights are being stated over there. Now on the other hand, right to equality, these are individual rights, right to freedoms, individual rights. So the government has a responsibility to provide for constitutional right to equality. So if you see from this argument, then the triple talaq appears to be unconstitutional, as it has provided the right to divorce among the Muslim community only to the men, not to the women. So in this context, if you see the patriarchal society and the violation of the rights of the women, these are the arguments to go against the triple talaq. And already you know that the Supreme Court has clearly stated in Shamim Ara versus State of UP case that the triple talaq is unconstitutional. And let us see other argument. So the Muslim Personal Law Board argues that interfering with the personal law is violating the religious rights of the community or cultural rights of the community too. So for this we need to understand the marriage among the Muslims. So marriage is a contract among Muslims. A nikah nama will be written when marriage is supposed to be happened. And next, in that it will be clearly stated what form of the divorce has to be taken. There are different forms over here. Talaq-e-ishan, talaq-e-bidar. Talaq-e-ishan, it means that the talaq has to be spread over 3 months period of time, that is 90 days. When talaq has to be issued, women shall not be menstruating, the man shall not be in a drunken state, and they have to explore all other choices, and it has to be a last resort, and there has to be enough efforts to be made by the elders on both the sides to solve the issues between the people. On the other hand, talaq-e-bidar, the man will use all his choices at one single go. So what kind of talaq? It will be written in nikah nama. And the second is, so in India, what is being demanded is, the Quran is not being properly interpreted And if properly interpreted, only the possibility is talaqi ishan. And finally, what we can say is the question of uniform civil code and triple talaq. Yes, distantly they are related to each other, but we have to see them as two separate questions. That's what is the Supreme Court has stated in this matter. And next is choke on it. So this article, it talks about pollution. The air pollution is at the highest levels in India. And the major reasons you already know, that is in North India, especially in Delhi, the vehicular pollution, and then the burning of the agricultural residues from the neighboring states, thermal pollution, construction waste. All these are reasons for the rise of particulate matter. But however, in deep winters when the smog was setting in, thus Delhi has celebrated Deepavali, which has raised the particulate matter levels to the peaks. So in this context, what we can state is this: people also have a responsibility in decreasing the existing pollution. We shall not see it as just the responsibility of the government alone. That's what the article talks. Now coming to the world newspaper, I'm interested in this article, why 20 million people are on brink of famine. It is about the drought in Africa. So we have sufficient food. Remember this point. The world has sufficient food for every man, not for every man's greed. Every man's need it will fulfill for. So in this context, lack of distribution channels to make the food to reach from surplus to deficit state is the major problem of the world today. And then Tillerson has visited Mexico, and you already know once the Trump has come to the power, the relations between US and Mexico has got worsened. Mr. Trump's Great Wall plan and stating that he will get it financed from Mexico, all this shows that the diplomacy has taken a very wrong turn between these two countries. Now, let's come to the news page. Naga Accord is still in the works. So when Modi has come to power, there is an enthusiastic statement on Naga Accord. So it has been said that a framework agreement was signed. Under this, they will be negotiating the final agreement. You know that NSCN, Mubaya faction, Isaac Mubaya faction, is majorly demanding for a sovereign state of Nagas. Or they can only settle with the greater Nagaland, with the Naga inhabited areas of Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, etc. So the neighboring states are worried that does the framework agreement include what? So the term which has come out over here is shared sovereignty. But what is the meaning of shared sovereignty is still not clear. So the Indian representative Ravi clearly states that it is still a half-baked solution and there is a long way to go. And then let's talk about the universities to compete with IITs and IIMs in rankings. So now a competition as a source to improve the quality has become a rule in every part of the life, in every aspect of the life. So in alignment with the university education is also being provided rankings in a comparative perspective to analyze good, bad and worse. And I have given you the notes. So in this you need to do the research about what are exoplanets, what is dwarf star, TRAPPIST, Galilean moons, Goldilocks zone. Do some research and try to understand. Last year, I think last before year, Goldilocks zone was the question. And I have covered some important aspects related to basic income. Please try to go through them. So finally, the argument which we covered is triple talaq. Thank you very much and all the best. Yesterday, we have started an interview program and I have taken my students to a field visit. I made them to visit a friend in Ayush. He was an investment banker with Standard & Poor. And finally, he left his lucrative career and settled himself as a farmer in a village which is around 100 kilometers from Hyderabad. And what made him to choose so? And he says agriculture is profitable and we shall make it as one. And there shall be a learning to the farmers. And agriculture shall become more a profession with verified data, verified understanding of what is happening around. And so that was a very good experience for my students. So I'll also be posting those videos for you. We took some videos and I will make it available. And now, as I said, I'll give you the video of Dr. Khan, who is an IPS officer. It is posted on the Civils Prep lawx.in/civils prep, or you can go to YouTube channel and type as Civils Prep, CIVILS PREP. You can see those videos over there. And Mr. Ayush video and my students' interaction with Ayush will also be posted on the same video. My objective is to see the ground realities so that when a question comes in the interview, you shall show that commitment and conviction in your answer that makes the mark. So last year we have worked with Ms. Snehaja. She got 206 marks, which is the second highest mark in the country. And Mr. Rishant Reddy, he got 204 marks. So obviously one thing I believe is this: if you are preparing for interview, yes, you are already having that understanding of the issues around you. Don't think that interview is an extension of mains. Here you need to exhibit your personality, a conviction to your thinking, a presentation that pleases or that provides for a pleasant understanding to the others. So that's why whatever you do, do it with commitment with regard to interview preparation. Don't think that you can just perform across. Yes, no one can be changed within 1 month or 2 months with regard to their personality. Core personality remains intact. Only the outer presentation, it will be changed. And reinforcement, constant reinforcement, because we'll be studying a lot about agriculture. So in this case, when you see that what is happening on the ground, your conviction increases. And we're also going to meet Mr. Pullela Gopichand and also Dr. Reddy's chief, and we are going to explore certain other options in this particular area. So that provides us new insights. The corporate world, intellectual property rights, how they see it as. With regard to Pullela Gopichand, what is his vision for future of sports in India? So these are the various topics which we are going to explore with them. And then we are going to deal with corruption and policing in India, and governance and reforms necessary. These issues we will be discussing with Padmanabhaya sir. So in this way we can make a good articulation of the things. Thank you very much and all the best.